Centennial Bank, banking with you in mind. And by Ozark Memories Day. Come celebrate the time-honored tradition of Ozark Memories Day, September the 25th in Dover. All right, Dover fans, don't forget to show your support for Dover football by smashing that subscribe button and telling someone you know about Pirate football on the Russellville Sports Network. Well, hoist your sails and raise that Jolly Roger high, Pirates. It's game time. Let's send it out to the stadium, and the captain in command of this ship, it's the voice of the Dover Pirates. It's Mr. Jaran Miller.
College pregame show with Coach Will Cox. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Coach Cox, this is year 2 at Dover. What are some of the things that you've seen this offseason and fall camp that you like about your football team?
I like how much we've grown. Just not just physically, we've put on a bunch of weight this offseason, and strength we've grown, but culturally, I think has been the key. We've had a lot of growth culturally, and really excited about kind of the mindset, the understanding that it's a process. These kids have really bought into just focusing on today, getting better today, and understanding that they're not going to be their finished product by the end of the day. But if they keep stacking those days and being consistent with it and being on time and being here on a daily basis, that's the only way that they close that gap. And so really excited with the work ethic these kids have shown.
Yeah, that's awesome. Creating a culture, it's definitely something that you got to have, and it sounds like you figured that out. And, year 2, just a lot of different things coming about when you gone through it the first time, you're hitting it the second year. So what would you say some of the strengths and weaknesses are of this team?
Well, I think last year with the pandemic, with everything going on, we didn't touch a football until August 1, and so you're trying to install an offense, a defense with guys that you're also trying to build those relationships and get to know. And so in a lot of ways, we were kind of in survival mode from day one, just trying to make it. Whereas this year, these guys have been running this system now for a season, for the spring, through the summer, and fall camp. There's a lot more familiarity with it. We're able to do a lot more with it, both offensively and defensively. But there's also that trust, not just do I trust them, but do they trust me? That's right. One of the keys, and being able to be with them, working with them on a daily basis, that there's a lot more of that trust, which is key in any cultural rebuild. So that's exciting. Now, the actual football aspects of it, our biggest weakness right now is numbers. And you go through the years we've gone through, and you're going to face some serious attrition. But the guys we've got, we're really excited about, and they're competing and they're working hard. Some of our strengths we're pretty big up front. Our offensive line, we have 4 of them are seniors. They're big guys. Our 5th one is Eli. He's a junior. So we've got upperclassmen with experience that are big up front. That we're really going to have to lean on heavily, both right. Physically and mentally in how they are. And so we're excited about that, because you can have a lot of other things, but if you don't have a good offensive line, that kind of puts you dead in the water. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, you got to build your team from the inside out and be strong there.
Absolutely.
It's year 2 here. It's really big, because it's been about 4 years since the Dover Pirates have had a coach 2 years in a row. So
right.
Learning, they don't have to learn all new terminology. They know what to expect from last year, the guys that came back. So that's big. Offensively, what would you say your philosophy is?
So we're just putting in just worst slot spread type thing. But what I want to do offensively is I want to control the game. So whether that means you're going fast at times or you're slowing it down. What we want to do is we want to be very simple in what we know, but look very complex. And so we're going to give a bunch of different formations, try and find matchups that we like, trying to find personnel groups that we like matched up with the other team's defense. And so we do a lot of, we have a ton of different formation looks that we do, but stay simple in the plays we're running at them. So be complex in our formation and our alignment, and force teams to think a lot pre-snap. We believe the more defense has to adjust and think pre-snap, the more successful we're going to be.
Right. A lot of window dressing and different things to get them kind of show their hat and what they're doing, show their hand, and that makes a lot of sense. You're playing the Hector Wildcats tonight. Hector, they had a really good season last year.
Yep.
They've got a couple guys moved on, Gunnar Garrison, Bradley Day. So they're rebuilding a little bit. What are some of the things though that you think that when you play Hector you can expect from them that your guys got to be prepared to face?
Right. So with Hector, kind of a staple of that program the past few years has been they don't look like a week one, or I guess we're week zero team when they play. They're always very disciplined. It's a well coached program, and so you can't kind of feel out the season against them. You can't go start the season off slow against them because they're going to be disciplined. They know what they've had some coaching turnover, but as far as what they run, a lot of that's the same sort of stuff, and they're doing the same thing, and so they know what's expected. And it's a hardworking group of kids. They have a strong culture, and that's fed throughout their program. So you've got to be ready to go. Once that ball's kicked, you got to be ready to go.
Yes, sir. And it sounds like something that year two here, that's something that you're wanting to have here as you grow and come along further, that where everybody's ready. Week zero, if you're not ready to play the Dover Pirates or you're not ready to play Hector because they've got that culture ingrained in them, that you're gonna come out of there with a loss because you're not ready right off the bat. I got my color commentator here with me, Adam Johnston. He's got a couple questions for you as well, Coach Cox.
Yeah,
sir. Like you said earlier, you guys didn't even get to touch the football last year until August 1st, and so that really just started off the year off on the wrong foot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really tough year last year for you guys. But I just want to ask you, what are the kids' mindset and their attitude going into this year coming off a really tough year last year? Are they optimistic for this year?
Yeah, and I think they're optimistic. I think I know they're a lot more confident, and part of that is being in the system longer, but they're more confident in themselves. They've before I was hired, that off season they had started off with a really great off season. Coach Ottinger had a lot of great things going, and then it shuts down. And I think team confidence and team culture is built in the weight room. It's built in the off season. And so just when they started getting momentum, everybody was sent home, and that really hurts you. And if you in those fourth quarters, you need that confidence, knowing you've been battle tested essentially, and you know that your body can do more than what you're thinking it can do at that time. And so what has been great watching these guys this offseason, watching them compete, watching them work, grow, and fight through those struggles. There's a different sense of confidence that they have in themselves and what they're capable of. And it also gives us confidence in knowing that we know what they're capable of, so what we're asking them to do, we know that they can do.
Mm-hmm. Confidence is definitely a big key in success, and cohesion and chemistry and getting those reps before the season. I just want to ask you another question. What are your goals specifically for this year?
Yeah, so it's one, I want to get through the season. Last year we had to cancel 4 games, and especially with seniors, it breaks your heart because they've got limited ones anyway. And so I want to play the full season. That's the big key. We've already had some issues in our district of quarantine and that thing's going on. So that's the biggest one. But to me, one of the worst things you can say about a football team or a football player is that kid's got a ton of potential, because that means that there's 100% of what you're capable of being. And so with these guys, I think there's a lot of exciting things, and I've told them, you guys are going to be the foundation on which this program is built, because you guys are changing the cultures. It's you